All right, buddy, we're back.
Back in action.
Back in action. It is another conversation between Brad Laddusaw and Corey Siegel. Yes, SNL Capital Group. What take are we on?
I think, is this 7 or 8?
I don't know. We probably should have known. We had a whole 2 minutes to figure this out. That's all right.
We did a lot of planning for today.
I think it's take 6.
We'll see. We'll have to go to the archives.
I'll go to the archives. But either way, another conversation with Brad and Corey here, back in the studio. Pretty excited to be here. Got a new face in the room, just listening along. So if you guys hear any chuckles or gasps, that is the intern from Cal State Fullerton, Anthony, and we're excited to have him as well.
We'll get him in the hot seat later.
Got to do it. It's like an initiation for the company, which is fun.
And hopefully he makes it longer than 2 months.
Yeah, hopefully. Anywho, so what do you want to start off on? Iran, religion? What do you want to do?
Maybe both.
Maybe both, yeah.
It's been over Christmas dinner.
Last time we were here was in February.
Yeah.
And that was before all the kind of craziness going on in the world.
Yeah.
Because I think that happened at the end of February or March. And it's been a volatile time.
Well, I think we have joked around about this a lot. I think it's just been a crazy time ever since COVID. We really haven't had a normal year, and a normal year got skewed greatly post-COVID with super cheap money.
Right.
And then you had so many entrants to the market only during cheap money. We're like, oh, this is easy. And it's like, no, it's going to probably have to revert back to the mean a little bit here. No one thought it was going to happen in 2 months on how quickly rates went up in, was it 2022? And then you had the election, and then you had all the peak panic with tariffs that resulted in nothing. And it's just, I remember talking to people about industrial, like, you guys are still doing industrial with the tariffs coming down? Yeah, it's probably not going to impact.
Just wait till you hear that we're doing office.
Oh my goodness. No, it's just, my point is, it's real estate is always evolving. Strategies are always evolving. And if you're waiting to find the perfect time to enter or enter in a normal market, you're probably not going to find a deal with any value or any juice. It's the uncertainty, I think, creates great investment opportunities. You just need to be willing to pull the trigger when the time comes. You need to have the debt lined up. You need to have your crews in place. But we look at some of our borrowers that have been most successful. They've been investing pre-COVID, during COVID, and they're still investing now. But the ones that have made it and have been the most successful is they stayed in their lane. They stuck to their guns. They didn't try and venture off too far into the deep end, and they've been methodical.
Yeah.
But if we're waiting for a normal market,
oh man,
if we waited for a normal market before we started our company, it'll be 9 years this month.
9 years in a few days, actually.
Yeah.
Right? The 20th?
Yeah.
Is it the 20th? So 3 days. Happy 9-year anniversary. I didn't get you anything this year. Next year, maybe.
I booked you this room.
Yeah, that's right. I brought you a traveling golf bag.
Thanks.
Yeah, to use for your trip. I think the interesting part about it, too, is we've probably touched on it, too, in past times that we have had conversations. 9 years goes by in a blink of an eye. But when you go through different cycles and you're talking about getting off the ground, feeling that beginner's luck and fortune, and kind of getting a little complacent on that side, having a couple of headwinds there right out of the gate. Then COVID happens and thinking, man, this is going to be the end of the world. Then it ended up being a great year. And then starting to do some other product lines because it was available and easy. And then those product lines going away because of COVID. And then interest rates going up and coming down. We really took a mentality that it was something that we had to learn and get calloused over, was whether it's slow for other people or not, whether it is busy for other people or not, like, you make your own fortune. So the excuse of, well, transactions are down, that doesn't really do anything for small business, because you could have the excuse that you're slow and you'll go out of business. Yeah. So we kind of made that pivot, I would say, around post-COVID interest rate time, where we were like, listen, it could be bad for people, it could be good for people. It's really irrelevant. It's kind of I hate to bring up an analogy to things that people talk a lot of shit about on LinkedIn. It's a lot like golf, which is your playing partner can
delete my posts.
Yeah, right? Your playing partner can be playing really well. It doesn't really matter what you do. It's a competition against yourself. Mm-hmm. And so that's what small business is. That's what this real estate business is for us, it's how can we be better than what we already are? Mm-hmm. And I think that mentality shift for us has been really healthy. And we've reaped the benefits and the rewards of that. And we just kind of keep our head down, put in the work, make the calls, have the cadence, be visible, all of those things that really turn into business that we talk about it all the time. Like, it's hard to gauge how successful LinkedIn is for us, but we know people are calling us from it.
Yeah. And it's one way or the other. And it's like, you need to get yourself backpedal. You can do whatever the F you want. You don't have to do, but our mindset is we were chatting about it earlier this morning. It's if someone's listening in on this or seeing some of our posts and then we meet them in person, we want them to say, hey, you're the same exact person that I saw on social media or on your conversation, non-podcast
podcast that's evolved into a podcast.
But it's true. And it's with automation being force-fed to everyone, which there is a great need for it. But I don't see it replacing bodies necessarily in our business. It allows us to free up more time to do what we do best.
Yeah.
But it's what does that look like? And how do we keep the cadence? And I think our challenges we had early on in starting the company, we got the pre-COVID era and post-COVID era, because I think that's when our mental shift really changed on just because someone else is slow doesn't mean we need to be slow.
Exactly.
But we were trying to do too much ourselves. Our approach in the beginning, so we'll outsource certain things to help reduce risk to our investors, such as loan servicing and a few other aspects. But we want to be heavily involved. That's a value add we bring to our clients. But all the work that you would do to generate deals in Q1 was done really in Q4.
Right.
Then you get loaded with deals. We're fortunate, and then we could see it. Like, I could see it's going to fall off a cliff second half of Q2 just because all the work we did to generate the deals fell off while we were processing and closing the deal. So it's like, how can we change that? We need to constantly be doing the touches. Once you get burnt out and you feel like you're hitting that wall, you're just going to give it a little flick. The wall will move.
Yeah.
Just push through it. And that's why it's been fun doing this. You damn near the last decade, just because we push each other.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm not going to call you and say, hey, what the fuck you doing, man? Like, make one more call. Or you're not going to tell me, hey, go raise some more money. You will do it passively. You'll be like, hey, Brad, here's an investor you should talk to.
Well,
I think we push each other.
Right. So. And it's funny because we have this conversation a lot because when we brought,
I don't mean to cut you off, but it is Friday and I've had a coffee. I have nice energy drinks here. So hopefully they can't see my stack of caffeine here in the corner.
I mean, listen, put the energy drink on the other side of that, put the label out. We'll tag them in the video. Maybe we'll get a sponsorship deal. Who knows, Got to think big, Brad.
Labels out.
Yeah. I think, we've talked about this a lot because I think both you and I would say we probably took too long to bring on Kristen, right? Or that position because it freed up some of the time that we can do on business development, right? I personally think it happened at the right timeline, not to get too yogi on you. But at the same point in time, like what was really important for us, and I think it shows through to clients and investors, right? We did everything in our business for a very long time.
Yeah.
Everything. And some days we still do it. We kind of go through the lumps. For me, it was important because I feel like in our business, not to compare it to past businesses, but in our business, we need to be able to look at somebody and say, we went through exactly what you're going through. Now, I'm all for your recommendations and how we can improve the process and make it more efficient because your perspective is going to be new, but it's not from a blind standpoint of like, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that was so important for us. I really do. So even though we do feel like we took too long to hire for that position, I think a lot of things lined up for us to be able to do it at that point in time, and we found the right person, which is just as important as just hiring and firing type of situation. So yes, we want to kind of remove ourselves from the day-to-day grind so that we can develop more, and we're continuously doing that. And I think that's where AI and technology in general will help us leverage those things. But people don't call us to hear the rebuttal from ChatGPT. People don't call us to plug and play into a profile to get a matrix out. People call us because they know that we know what we're doing and we have a very specific niche. I never know how to say that. A specific business that has a particular product and product lines. And when people call us, we can promote that confidence. Yeah. Not only from a product standpoint and investor capital that's available and what we've done in the past, but I do think there's a part of it that's like we have gone through every step of the process so many times to where we know how this thing is going to play out. And I think that is invaluable. And I don't believe that AI is going to replace that. I don't think people, even nowadays, you go have a conversation with ChatGPT and you're not really confident in the answer sometimes. Right. I'll tell you a story. I'm reading a novel. There's 3 worlds in this novel. I had a question about this guy lost his arm in 2 of the 3 worlds. And I went into ChatGPT knowing the surface level. I'm like, I'm a little confused here. So which world does he have his arm? And then Chat sent me back. I'm like, that's wrong. I know it because I read it.
Like I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. That's not right. Oh, you know what? After careful review, you're right. It's actually this one and this one. And I'm like, imagine if that's a $5 million office deal.
What's crazy about that? I think the term they use it hallucinates, but it delivers responses with a level of confidence,
right? And
you forget you're talking to effectively a software. It's not an attorney on the other side. Because I went down. It was last year. I was going down, not to bore people with diving into fraudulent transfers and issues with that, but I was going into that and I was like, all right, maybe I'll do a little heat check here. And I was going through ChatGPT and I was explaining the scenario at depth. And they're saying, well, because XYZ, you'll be fine. Here's the heat score. So then I asked to cite some court cases where it ruled in the lender's favor. They real quick, high level of confidence. Here's 5 different court cases. Gave it the heat score. I pull up the first one. Fucking rolled in the opposite direction. Like it was not in our favor. So then I right back. I think the courts actually rolled in the other direction, not in the favor of the lender. Oh yeah, you're right. I got the case. Here's another case. I pull up that case. Same thing. But it's I think you have some companies that, again, you need to have people that have been in the trenches and have gone through these experiences and have invested in the market to be able to heat check what is being generated out of these platforms, even these new softwares. And again, there's some really great platforms popping up out there.
Oh, for sure.
I'm be moderating.
And they're only going to get better. I think that's the important part too, is like, this is what we're dealing with now, but it creates an opportunity for us.
Yeah.
Because people are relying on it and I'm not sure it's ready to be relied on in that level.
And that's where I was saying you need to have people on your team that can push back on that platform provider or the responses that you're getting, because I compare what's going on right now with AI and all these new AI consultants popping up left and right, similar to how the ADU boom, as soon as California got that favorable leverage or not favorable leverage, favorable legislation to promote more housing, but it just made it's still impossible to do ADUs.
Yeah.
You had GCs popping up left and right saying, hey, I could do your ADU in your backyard for you.
Right.
They've never done one.
Right.
They've never navigated Los Angeles versus Chula Vista versus Oceanside.
Oh, no.
Each city has their nuances. So I think you're going to have, and you are having these platforms pop up that I do think can solve a problem, but you have people pitching it that they're just leveraging other platforms out there and putting it under one umbrella. I think there's value in having a company do that for you, because if you and I are going to go spend the time to build that out, that's not our cup of tea. And if you spend a whole month building out a workflow, that'll be great. Now you just did 1 month of not making one phone call.
Well, not only that,
sitting down with the client, and
how many months until that workflow is created naturally?
Yeah, but now will it work?
Yeah.
Now you need to have a team member that's going to be constantly fine tuning it.
Right.
And you look at what's going on right now. There's the big fear of people losing jobs to AI, which you will lose some. And I think you have some companies. Look at public accounting, for example. Mm-hmm. You have partners of these large Big Four accounting firms that they're partners for a reason. They started as probably an intern or a staff one. They've gone through mergers and acquisitions. They've done big deals. They've brought companies public. They've seen all these things go on. Now, if you try and eliminate your staff two, and potentially senior positions where you really cut your teeth in understanding the ins and outs of an audit with an AI platform, what does that do to the partner track 20 to 30 years from now?
Right.
Because the partners of today will be long gone 30 years from now. And it's the same thing with corporate America. You have these CEOs and CFOs of these multinational corporations. They got there because, one, they were probably pretty freaking ruthless throughout their career.
Right.
But they learned a lot by being in the trenches. You eliminate that first 10 years of their career. Now you're going to have future CFOs and CEOs of companies that they learned from a bot.
Right.
So there's no more challenging of assumptions going in, and there's no more challenging of the outcomes.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, interesting, and that's an extreme situation.
Well, but the other part of it is we're emotional human beings. We have feelings. We have that ambition. You have the ups and downs. I mean, look at a transaction just in general, right? Any loan that you go through, there is a lot of feelings that are involved with that. Mm-hmm. You take all of that out, you lose understanding. You lose the ability to relate with clients. You lose the ability to have empathy for escrow, title, insurance who are going through their own processes, as I posted about yesterday. But you're sitting there and you're removing the human factor from it. And there will be a time when that's a little bit more fluid, but I don't think it's there now. And I think right now we're in a service providing business. And with the timelines that we're requested and asked to perform on, could it be the most efficient and dialed with some sort of AI bot? Yeah, but I don't think it works in the same fashion. So I'm excited where we are. I don't think we need to go down the AI rabbit hole all that much. But I mean, I think it is interesting because the future growth of any company is based on the younger people in that company.
Yeah.
And if you remove the younger people because of efficiency and the bottom line, you're not really setting your company up for much. And the idea that every company gets sold, majority of companies don't.
Well, that's why I also think it's exciting about bringing on younger team members to the company because they have a different perspective on some of these different softwares that are out there. They might be in the weeds a little bit more on it to where it's, you bring it on not to replace somebody, but you bring it on to improve the productivity of everyone else on the team and try to limit the errors throughout the process.
Yeah. And that's, I think
you can't eliminate the human factor.
I mean, for us too, I think we enjoy our business. Yeah. That's the other part too. It's sometimes, I enjoy our business. I mean, I think
if we could get EOI, I didn't enjoy it a whole lot more.
I think that there are, but there's this struggle, right? Like for me, how much joy would the successes bring if we didn't hate a few parts of things that we did, right? Like there has to be that contrast. Yeah. There has to be that, man, I have to do this to feel this success. If I'm only feeling the success and I'm removing the struggle, like, first of all, that struggle, you can't outsource that struggle from a mental capacity anyways.
No.
Then there's blame. This isn't working. It's not my fault. It's not gonna happen. So yeah, AI is not taking over the world yet. It's getting there. And, data centers are getting built or not built. And I wonder where it's going to be. I don't think anybody knows where we're going to be in 5 to 10 years from now. And I think it's interesting because real estate is very much a transactional business. You build relationships over multiples of transactions. And how do you replace the relationship? I think people want to see other people succeed. There's a motivational factor involved in it too. When we talk to clients who are really doing well, like there's a joy in that conversation. Yeah. You remove us from that, like they're just going to be talking to a website. And then when that website doesn't perform.
It's similar to when years ago, you'd call in to get help from a big company and you have to go through all the dials.
Yeah.
Now I'm going through the same things with an AI bot. I was like, please just connect me to a human.
Yeah, exactly.
So my point is, and I think your point, there is the human factor that you can't eliminate from a company.
Yeah.
It may work in the short term, but in the long run, especially in real estate or any investment vehicle in general out there, you can't replace you coming to my property mid-renovation just to check in and see how it's doing and then taking me out to lunch after. Just to see how the market's doing.
100%.
Like that.
Just to see how you're doing as a person.
Yeah.
That's what I think gets overlooked with this AI thing is that we know we have relationships with investors, we have relationships with our borrowers, that the conversation a lot of times is a quick check-in on property, and 90% of the conversation is about family, about the summer. You had people in from out of town. You were watching the World Cup. Oh my God, did you see this game? Can't believe the U.S. looked like an AYSO team again. But as a non-soccer fan, I kind of expected it. So ultimately speaking, like all of those things, like that's why we're in business. We're not in business necessarily just for the loans. Obviously, that's what we do from a business function. But you're in business because you want to build those relationships. And it's a very much a long-term type of play to be able to establish a relationship, be the normal people that we are. You know, this is what you see is what you get.
When you say normal, I like to say beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Hey, listen, man, I'm looking in the mirror. I'm as normal as it gets. As normal as it gets.
Mama says.
Yeah, outside of this third nipple I got, but that's okay. But yeah, so it's been an interesting year, right?
You too?
Yeah, it's been interesting. Yeah, exactly. Look at that. I knew we had something. It's a weird looking wetsuit you got when you're surfing out there. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we've had a nice beginning of the year. I think ultimately, like, the overnight success takes many years, right?
Yeah.
I think it was Bill Gates. Somebody said the overnight success takes 15 years. But I say that because 3.5 years ago, I remember it vividly. You're like, we got to start focusing more on commercial. And I'm like, yeah, but all of our clients are residential. And we were doing some commercial, but it was like our repeat clientele. I was trying to really focus on keeping that repeat business. You're like, no, we got to focus on commercial. And as you look over the last 12 months of our business, commercial side has really just taken off. And that to me is fun because it's an asset class that competitively priced within reason. From an asset-based bridge standpoint, there's a ceiling and a floor, right? I mean, ultimately, there are some really aggressive multifamily value add lenders out there still. We have seen how that has kind of played out in those 2021, 22, 23 purchases that are coming to maturity or on extension or whatever it may be. Those aren't really working out too well. I think people are kind of getting back to, in that space, a little bit more of a palatable LTV. And the variance in switching costs becomes really something to consider. You know, are you going to go out to a life co? You're going to go out to a major value add type of lender and get a fractional better interest rate with a really difficult underwrite? Or
who knows, especially if it's an acquisition, are you even going to hit that closing timeline?
And have those hurdles that are naturally involved in sound underwriting, because that's what it takes to try and put something like that together. Or are you going to come over to, you know, average normal guys like us and enjoy your process and make it quick and kind of get it to the finish line? And I think like there's true value in that. And I like the fact of, you know, people are always asking, why would we use asset-based bridge or hard money or private money, whatever you want to call it, on a Friday in July? And there's so many different reasons, but one of them right now is when you have elevated interest rates that are higher for longer, cliche, higher for longer interest rates, the switching cost is not that big of a deal. And so if you have a plan that you can execute in the next 12 to 24 months, you better get at that plan right away, because what we're seeing right now in loans that are maturing with aggressive leverage, and it's not about necessarily that aggressive leverage as much as it's about executing the plan. When the plan doesn't get executed, now you have issues paying off that loan. Some of the loans that they took on origination of purchasing those properties are leverage points, which make it very difficult, if not impossible, without bringing cash in to cure that maturity. But the plan is really where the execution comes in. And if you have that plan and you're willing to get in there and do the work, make sure you're relatively on time, like an asset-based bridge loan is something that you really should consider, because the path of least resistance to closing and executing that plan is probably more valuable than an extra 5 or 10%.
And when it comes to, it's also opportunity cost.
Right.
I think just because interest rates are volatile and there's uncertainty in the world, which there will always be uncertainty in the world, so I'm tired of those article headlines. But I think there's value in knowing you could close in 10 days if you need to. And we work in the Plan B space all the time. So we've worked with a lot of mortgage brokers, especially on the commercial side. It's like, hey, go with that sexy bank debt or that perm debt right out the get-go.
I'm bringing sexy back. Sorry.
Hit it. But it's have a bridge running concurrently.
Yeah.
Just there, because we don't have a due diligence deposit on our loans. That way, when you're talking to your client on the front end, say, hey, here's the sexy lender we're going with first. And I got these other guys that are kind of sexy too, but they're going to be bridge.
Yeah.
But at least here are your two options. If we do not have what we need by X date from the bank lender, these guys are going to get rocking and rolling on that. And I've negotiated the pricing down for you to where it's fluid for you. We'll structure it with no prepay or no interest guarantee, so you're not locked into the bridge for an extended period of time. And then now it's more of a strategy on day one with the client that's looking to acquire versus that bank lender just needed more time, 1031 being in jeopardy. And then now the broker's approaching their client with a loan falling through them and say, hey, well, I got a bridge option as a backup. They won't like that option being presented at the finish line.
Well, by that time, they're not answering that broker's call.
No.
Because they're going, I got to go find a solution because
you clearly don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Even though
that's not necessarily the truth.
Exactly.
Right. And obviously you're kind of at the burden of the lender in that particular point in time. I get the question all the time too. Recently had a conversation on an industrial property that was going through a more traditional source. And you talk to brokers all the time about process, and the guys and gals that you talk to that have some sort of business acumen and are pretty nice people that you like enjoy talking to. They're like, I don't want you to waste your time. And I will look directly camera one. It is not a waste of time. And what I tell people is, you're never going to trust us to close until we close. So any salesperson who is out there that you're trying to work with for the first time that's trying to imply that you should trust them, run for the hills, because that is not what business is about.
You mean that's not your opener?
No, that is not my opener. But what I would like to do is, with broker relationship, wherever that may be, I want to show you how we work and the way that we can provide you with the terms of the loan that we can do. If we do that 3 or 4 times as a backup and you don't need the backup, I am happy for you. You have been able to provide the lending or the loan or the financing that your client has as their plan A, their first option, 3 or 4 times. Fantastic. Congratulations. But you're getting more familiar with how we work. You kind of have an idea of what we can do on the timeline that's set out. And then when we have the opportunity to close on that loan, whether it's deal 4, 5, or 6, there's a little bit of familiarity there for you. That's when the trust is built. And once we close, deal's recorded, you get your check, whether it's through escrow or whatever. Now you can go, I have a successful closing with S&L Capital Group. They did this 3 or 4 times as a hypothetical. And on the 5th time we closed, I know with a high level of confidence how they're going to work. And if they give me these answers on day 1, 2, or 3, there's a high level of confidence that they're going to be able to provide that loan. It's not all lip service, and it's not all, trust me, we can do it, and we're the number 1 lender in the world, and all the stuff that you see on social media. Because,
Mama says.
Yeah, exactly. I remember, we probably talked about it too.
But I think you highlighted a great point. We're not telling someone to trust us with a high level of confidence. We're saying, hey, we are going to overshare our processes so you could build your own confidence in us. And I think it's 2 different ways of doing that. And people say, well, how can you close in 7 days or 10 days on a commercial deal? Well, it's the way we've structured our processes to where we could run things concurrently. We're not going to wait for all these to come in to then get a pre-approval, to then get it to underwriting and have checks and balances. If you got one coming in hot and heavy that needs to close in 10 days, you send it to me, hey, Brad, what do you think we're going to need coming out of underwriting on this? And we front load that request and say, hey, you're not going to wait 7 days, 10 days, 14 days to get our underwriting comments, because just by looking at the prelim and the asset, I could tell you what we're going to need that will be conditioned out of underwriting.
Right.
So they're getting that rocking and rolling day 1. We're working with title on day 1, getting the title insurance request going. We're not waiting for that to come out of underwriting to get the bottleneck parts of a transaction cleared.
Right.
We get them going right away, communicating with insurance. All these happen on the same day. So that's why we joke around and say, hey, we'll be to docs before your file is probably even submitted to loan committee elsewhere.
Right.
In that instance, shit, we might be funded by the time it comes out of loan committee.
We just got a lead last night on a deal, and one of the brokers said, yeah, just full transparency. And again, this is, I can respect, I definitely
respect that.
I respect the fact that he said it was, full transparency. We have this in front of another lender, but in the synopsis of the email, it's like the closing date is July 31st. And so I sent it over to Brad, and Brad emailed me back going, if they're got to close by the 31st, we probably want to see what terms they have on the table, because that's a good question to ask. Not because the terms are really what we're looking for. We're actually looking for if there are terms on the table.
Yeah, and is it a real deal? Like,
because if there aren't any terms on the table and you're not working with an asset-based bridge lender, we're sitting here, is it the 17th? That ain't closing by the 31st. Mm-mm. So when you're in sales, there are certain things that you can ask people that will help you verify or validate timeline. And being in the lending space, we kind of know how that works on a variety of different loan products. Anything long-term, anything bank, anything Lifeco, if they're not actively interested in pricing the deal out yet, doesn't mean that they won't. It just means that your timeline's in jeopardy if you're talking about a 10 or 12, 13 day timeline that you need to perform. And so it's just a matter of fact. And I don't think AI replaces that.
No, but then it's also, I can't tell you how many times we get a mortgage broker sending us a deal and saying, if you could beat the terms on this LOI, like move forward. I read the LOI. I was like, based on the requirements in their LOI, they're not doing the loan.
Yeah.
Debt cover is not there or whatever.
Right. Expiring leases, right?
No, exactly. Or high vacancies, over 50%. So like within the LOI will tell me that, hey, they don't have a deal, so let's go. But you could still see it through and do that. But I think it's understanding the process, communicating the process, and you do a great job at just breaking down timelines. We get a loan app today. Here are timestamps on what we're going to do to escalate it. You get us these items by this date. Granted, escrow, title, and insurance are going. Here are the milestones you're going to have based on day of the week.
Yeah.
And then it's on us to perform, which is the fun part.
Well, that's the fun part because we're telling them the timeline based on what we know we can do. That's the other part about, and I get the idea of wanting to blow a business up to being as big as it possibly can with as many hands on deck and having a huge sales force and processors and underwriters and a big office and all of those kind of things. There's definitely a benefit to that. Your capacity is way more, but you lose a little bit of control in the process. Yeah. And I think one of the fun things that we're deal junkies. I mean, we like pushing the deal through the closing timeline. I take a huge amount of pride in trying to hit that loan amount that we talk about on day one throughout no changes, right? And for me, I think if I'm being therapy session here.
I was about to heat check you, not if you're being honest.
No. For me, here's a full therapy session. The reason why I like to do it is because when we first started our company, I was doing disclosures.
Yeah.
And anytime the loan changes, you have to redo disclosures. And I hated doing that. So Kristen, if you're ever going to watch this, I know whenever we have to change just a little bit, whether it's closing date or loan amount or something, it drives everybody a little bit crazy. I know it does. So that's why we try to take so much pride in making sure that our messaging, that our loan options, loan amounts, pricing, and everything like that stays consistent from day one. Because once you set the file up, if nothing changes, it becomes a pushing paper situation. And that to me is probably a direct result of past trauma of having to do disclosures over and over and over again on deals and in the past, and something we wouldn't have such an emphasis on if we never did disclosures.
Yeah.
Like that's the part where it's, you kind of learn you earn your lumps, you kind of like a tree with rings. You just have to do it for long enough to be able to understand the process in and out. And then it creates habits, and those habits can be carried on even when you bring people on. And then those habits create process, and that process creates an enjoyable one, and that enjoyable one creates business, and here we are. So
let's pivot a little bit. You mentioned we brought on an intern a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Where'd you meet him originally?
So you and I, we went to Cal State Fullerton. Go shout out to the Titans.
Tuffy.
Tuffy. And one of the things that was very interesting about the Cal State Fullerton, when you and I were there, we may or may not been involved in extracurriculars that were educational based.
Most of them weren't.
Most of them weren't.
Yeah.
But as we opened up our business, we got approached to go and speak at the Cal State Fullerton Real Estate Association and just kind of share our business. For me, I thought about it like from a perspective of like, I can't believe I wasn't involved in something like this when I was in school, let alone I had no idea I was going to be in this business. But it was kind of admiring, right? It was like, man, there's a room full of students who are interested in real estate in any capacity. I'm going to go just tell them about what we do. I don't know if we owe it to the university, but I kind of felt like, hey, that if it wasn't for that university, this business would not be in place.
That's you.
Exactly. Yeah. And your life wouldn't be
Or
that
my
much
boss.
better. Yeah. I mean, you would be really in the thick of it if it wasn't for Cal State Fullerton. I mean, what a guy I am. And so I went back to speak at the Real Estate Association, and I've been on a pretty good cadence with them. I think every semester, maybe missed one. But went back about a year ago maybe, and after the event, Anthony reached out to me and said, hey, I'm a student. I was at the real estate. I would love to sit down and chat with you and just kind of learn about your business. And for me, you go into those events and you look in the room, it's young, it's vibrant, there's just so much curiosity about everything. We lose that over time as people in business because we learn too much about what we can and what we can't do. And I think that is kind of infectious. So Anthony reached out. We went and had coffee, and I said, we might be bringing on an intern in the future. It would be a great opportunity for you to learn. Fast forward to the following semester, and he reached out to me again. And at the time, we just hired somebody, and our focus was trying to kind of get those. I'm like, just hang on for a second. We got to get this guy up and running. And then we decided, hey, let's get Anthony on board. And right as Anthony came on board, the new hire fell off, and that's okay. Shout out to that guy, and hopefully he's doing really cool things. But ultimately, I think it's an amazing way for perspective because I've seen this posted on LinkedIn from various sales coaches and whatnot. Young people don't know what is wrong. They don't know who they shouldn't be talking to. They don't know if they're calling the right person or talking to the right person in a business. They're calling because they're genuinely curious. And to me, there's so much value in that because when you are from a position of learning about somebody's business, before you make a decision on whether or not we can help them, they feel that on the other line. Mm-hmm. And when I was first in this business, I can't tell you how many relationships that were generated from talking to somebody, being genuinely concerned, asking probing questions about what they do, and realizing, hey, I'm not going to do any business with that person, but that person felt the conversation was genuine, and they made an introduction to somebody who could. And Anthony's been pulling that off left and right here for the last couple of months here. So we're excited to have him.
It's actually been fun to see.
Oh, for sure.
You started out reaching out to all the speakers that went and spoke, and also kudos to all the speakers willing to take the call, take the time, go meet him in person. And I think that says a lot about that potential investment broker or mortgage broker or real estate professional that they're willing to take the time to talk to a student.
Yeah.
Say, hey, here's the good, the bad, the ugly. I mean, he had a great call with, and we'll make sure to tag him in this. I believe his name is Connor. He spoke to him the other day. This guy's been a wealth of knowledge for Anthony. Hey, check out these events. Here are some other brokers you should talk to. And it's people like that make this business fun.
Right.
And it's people like that will have someone brand new to the industry say, hey, I can do this.
Yeah.
And make the calls.
Well, we always get into this space, especially when you're talking about commercial. It's like a cutthroat industry.
And it is.
Which it is, but I think at the same point in time, you kind of find your network, right? And you find that you have your relationships with even people that do the same thing that you do. And for me, it becomes more about like, there's plenty of business out there for everybody to do business. It's not that one company or that one person why I'm not doing well at any given time. And I think that the new school way of business versus the old school kind of, old guard.
I was going to say old school is new school.
Old school. Well, we are old school now, but I'm talking about old cats, right? The OGs. And so everybody's a little less protective about what it takes to be successful. Everybody's protective about clients. Everybody's protective about all the things that go into business. But what it takes to be successful is really something that I think more people are sharing.
Yeah.
And as a young person, having the curiosity of just asking and really trying to understand what the other person is saying, you're going to learn so many things. There's so many different ways in real estate to make money. And ultimately, like, whatever interests you is going to show in the conversation. If you're only there, it's a really good lesson about building relationships. If you're only there to ask questions about how this person can do deals with you, you're missing 98% of what that person is all about. And so, yeah, kudos to all the speakers. I think if you're willing to speak at Cal State Fullerton at the Center for Real Estate, and if you're called on to do that, there's naturally going to be that feeling of like a way to give back, provide information, try to give a little bit of glimmer of hope to maybe a younger generation that feels like they need to have it all figured out. And one of the things I always say when I go and speak in that room is, you guys right now, I don't envy you. Because you feel like you need to have all the answers, what you're going to be doing in 10 years, where you're going to be working. You don't. Like it is not, you're going to go through 1, 2, 3 different types of industries before you figure out what you really want to do. So right now it's about being curious. Right now it's about asking questions about what interests you and then seeing if there's a way to navigate through those industries to get you there. And so Cal State Fullerton, we are indebted to you guys. We love going back to the Center for Real Estate. Bob Taylor has been instrumental in that as well. And he's got huge things planned for the Center for Real Estate, which is just amazing to see. You know, it really is, because I don't believe that was even there when we were in school. And I don't even want to pretend like if it was, I would be involved in it.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I think I barely dipped into the accounting society at the very end.
Right.
But I needed to get it on my resume.
That's it.
But I didn't contribute the time that I wish I had.
Yes.
Same thing. But and also Cal State Fullerton, they started a business honors program a few years back, and that's been great for the students. We've done the mentorship program through the business honors program. That has evolved a little bit, but still, I mean, that university has done great things for students, and we always love going back and speak. And anytime we speak, I always ask, how many of you, if I give you my business card, will call me next week to go set up coffee?
Right.
Because I would like to sit down with you guys. 3/4 of the room will raise their hand. Out of a room of 30, I might get 3 students that will actually send me an email. I'll get 1 that will actually be serious about sitting down.
Yeah.
So my biggest recommendation, if you're a student and you have a speaker come in and present in front of your class, send them an email the day after thanking them for their time and ask to go grab a coffee to learn more about their industry.
Right.
And they will be more than happy to do that. And that will help you kind of get over the hurdle if you have concerns or anxiety about potentially networking with people out of a classroom setting, or doing cold calls. That's going to kind of get you over the hump with a very warm coffee meeting.
Yeah.
And unintimidating. And that's something that I always try to do with my mentees that I had. It's, if they were in accounting, I would set coffee meetings with people I knew that were in Big Four, mid-tier, and I would be there with the meeting with them. It's just having a conversation.
That's it.
We're all people, and I don't care if you do $500 million a year in volume or you're looking to break into your first loan. You're still a person. It
just goes back to the whole thought of like young people more so now than ever having to feel like they have it all figured out. Yeah. Like I think I
still don't have it figured out.
That's the most the most eye-opening thing about life is how much you recognize you don't have it figured out. And like that is, I think, something you learn over time with experience and gray hairs and all of that kind of stuff.
I just got a haircut yesterday and I looked this morning.
Yeah. It's
coming in.
I went and saw family at a baby shower about a month ago, and all my cousins, I haven't seen them in like 2 years maybe, and they're like, wow, look at all that gray. I'm like, you look great too. Are you telling me you like it? Like, or not? I mean, what's going on? But
I'm all natural,
I wasn't
baby.
insulted because I knew it was there. I've been seeing it all the time, but I'm like, that's the only thing you're going to say to me? Nice to see you. It's been a while. I hope the family's good. But no, young people feel like, I think that the thing I always like to express is that you don't have it all figured out. And just because you don't have it figured out doesn't mean you shouldn't take the meeting. Like, you don't have to feel like you have to add value in the sense of you're a knowledgeable expert in a field when you take those meetings, because that's not what the other person is expecting. And if they have any type of business acumen or any experience in an industry, if they're taking a meeting with somebody from a university, they know you don't know much.
Yeah.
And it's about sharing knowledge, and go into that meeting or that prospective meeting with just curious questions about what that person does. And if you're in business, you're willing to talk in front of a classroom of people, of young people who are interested in your space, you're willing to share. That's the other part too, is I am also surprised sometimes, for better or for worse, how many people don't reach out afterwards that do grab business cards and do all that kind of stuff, because the willingness is there. And, but yeah, we're excited to have Anthony. He's been doing really well. He closed the deal. And he's got a couple leads going. I think it's amazing. And we're excited to have him, and hopefully he gets the itch and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think he's got it. He's got the bug a little bit. Once you get the first one, whether you want to call it beginner's luck or not, you still have to make the call, right?
You do.
It's making that call.
Make the call, set the meeting.
Yeah, set the meeting, sharing the process, and it's been fun listening in on some of his calls that he's having. I mean, it's just it's a steep learning curve in this industry, and it's either you can have a conversation and be relatable, or you can't. It's not for everyone,
right?
And it's just it can be intimidating making that first call. It can be intimidating making your 1,000th call.
Oh, it's always intimidating.
It's just weird calling people.
It is,
but you get to a point where it's, hey, they're just people too.
That's it.
They're just people. They don't want to be sold. They just want to have a conversation. And if you can find a way to relate to somebody, whether it's talking about cats or surfing or turtles, I don't care. Find a way to relate. Well, I don't like cats and I don't like turtles, but hey.
Yeah, I've never had that come up in conversation, to be honest with you. So I wouldn't suggest anybody, young people listening, that you start the cold call based on cats and turtles. But I'm just trying to set you up for success. That's what I do.
So do you like cats?
No, I don't actually. I mean, they're okay, but
I'm allergic. Definitely allergic. Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Normally you're allergic to anything that sheds, then, but I'm clearly not.
No, I got Bud Heavy and Kid at home, and they shed.
Yeah,
they shed. So second half of the year, what do we have in store?
The second half of the year is conference. We're out and about. This is now the time that gets busy after the summer for conferences and speaking and kind of just forward-facing business development stuff. You know, you got CMA coming up in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I'm shocked they booked it in Oceanside, so right in my backyard.
Amazing for you.
Yeah.
The gas bill's going to come down on that trip. No flight needed. It's going to be great. You are done officially as CMA president?
As of July 1st.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm retired as CMA president.
Retired.
Yeah.
Did you do 2 terms or 2 years?
Okay. Two 1-year terms.
2 1-year terms. A lot of great things that CMA does. I know you did a great job. Everybody tells me that they love you. They wish you would cuss a little less in your speeches to the group, but hey, you get what you get.
I've
and
done
you
better.
don't throw a fit, as my sister-in-law would say.
I've done better. I think I've only said 1 or 2 curse words in this thing.
In this thing, yeah. But it's just always funny to kind of go into that room as somebody who isn't quite as involved as you are, obviously, because you were president and you're still very heavily involved in CMA and all the great things that people say about you, which is expected on my side, but always nice to hear. You know, I think that that's amazing. So you guys have that coming up in September.
Yeah, September 9th through 11th.
Yep, we have California MBA Western CREF Western Second. Whatever it's called.
That one's going to be in Vegas, right?
That's in Vegas, yeah.
9th through the 11th, too.
9th through the 11th in September in the ARIA. So I always like that. I've been going consistently for the last few years. And, I mean, it's amazing. You get a good sentiment of what's going on in the market. You get very awesome and honest conversations with people that are in the Western United States that are doing deals and really transacting. That's a lot of fun. Met a lot of great people there. There's a few Southern California guys that we just kind of have a little bit of a reunion at in Vegas and make sure we grab a drink together or sit at the blackjack table or whatever, which is always fun because even though they're in Southern California, life gets busy. So it's going to be great there. And then I'll be speaking at the IMN conference in the following week.
It's the multifamily middle market.
Multifamily middle market on the debt and structured finance panel, which is going to be great. I think IMN's a great brand as well. And that room is usually full of people who are transacting. I think that's the cool thing about conference season is you get to get a good gauge on what people are really seeing out there and not just the highlight reel, right? Yeah. And social media, for better or for worse, is a highlight reel. My analogy is, when you watch SportsCenter, you see the cool dunk from the team that lost by 30.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what social media is, which is everybody seems to be doing the best in the world, but based on transaction volume, based on all of the things that are involved in real life and business.
Some specific transactions. It's like, I don't know if you actually did that one.
Yep, I don't know if you did that one or the company did, which is fine. Promote the company. Yeah. That's fantastic. It's a good marketing ploy. Yeah. But at the same point in time, you get a really good gauge on what's going on with people. And I think that's as important. It's more of a reassuring fact. Yeah. You kind of have these feelings of what's going on in the market and you're looking to get confirmation from people that are actually moving.
Yeah.
And so I'm really looking forward to that in the second half of the year. I haven't announced it on social media. I'm not hiding it or anything, but we got some personal news that is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
You already mentioned.
Yeah, I get a little shout out. I mean, we're accepting. They're
accepting another employee at the Laddusaw household.
We're fortunate to be welcoming another baby boy to the Laddusaw group. November 10th expected due date.
Wow.
So upper management will be slightly overwhelmed come end of November, but we're extremely excited. I think you got a little.
Oh yeah. So not planned from a standpoint of business partners, but we also are expecting another child here. Due date of December 25th. We have my daughter Ellie is 7. My son Casey just turned 5. So we got a girl and boy. So we are going to wait until the day of to find out whether it's a boy or girl. And my wife is particularly excited about that. I would like to know.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We'll find out. And whatever is in the cards is in the cards. So we're super excited about that. And I was actually, when you told me that you were having a kid, I realized that we were, and I started looking at our pipeline, and I was like, I wonder which month was a good month. Which month?
Or a slow month.
Yeah, or a slow month. I'm like, was it this deal? Or wait, hold on. Maybe that was Brad's. Okay, that makes sense. Which one was mine? I'm about 6 weeks later. And then we closed that deal. Oh my goodness. But no, that's not really how it works. And but yeah, so it's exciting. We're just living the suburban 40-year-old New Balance type lifestyle right now.
I got my New Balance golf shoes. Everyone's gonna start getting those soon. My group.
Man, I know.
But it's gonna second half of the year is gonna go by quick. We're excited. I mean, it's fun having Anthony take some big strides.
Yeah.
And then us gaining traction on the commercial side. It's fun breaking down the multifamily and not having to push, the 75% loan to cost on a fully occupied multifamily deal that will fall flat.
Yes.
It's more so on transactional type strategy on the bridge, and then industrial select office. We did a nice creative office deal last month, 7 business days. So some of the stuff we can do. We don't think all office is created equal.
Not at all.
And like I said, the uncertainty out there in the marketplace does create opportunities, not only for investors, but also for us as bridge lenders to say, hey, here's a piece of the market institutional money's afraid of. I don't know why. So let's go that route. And then just
I think we do know why.
I know why.
Yeah, I mean, I think we know why because
we're running out of time here.
Painted with a broad brush here. But I'm excited about the second half of the year. I think that we have been business development side trying to be more consistent. I think we're kind of seeing the rewards of that. So if you're thinking about out there whether you should do a MailChimp campaign to your database or you should post regularly on LinkedIn, or you should share your thoughts on X or whatever it may be, just start doing it. The hardest thing to do is set it up and create that template to do it. And before you know it, you're 26 weeks in, 27 weeks in on a MailChimp campaign, and you're starting to see people respond with opportunities. And so for us, this year was about committing to that type of activity And I think ultimately we've had a success there. So if you haven't joined our MailChimp campaign, send me an email. We'd love to get you on there. We share deals, successful deals. We share deals that we turned down. We share events that we're going to. We share things that we're hearing out in the marketplace. And so ultimately it's meant to be a little snippet for us to just kind of be top of mind. And if you get them and you hate them, send me an email. Let me know why you hate them. Would love to kind of update them. If you love them, share them with your office. And
if you hate them, make sure to respond directly to the MailChimp email because it helps.
Just respond to the MailChimp email. It'll really give us a good idea of analytics. And if you respond, please unsubscribe me from the email. I may reply with a highlighted button at the bottom of the email saying, yes, you can unsubscribe
This is
here,
where it's at, yeah.
but I'll take you off the list.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to do it for you. No, I'm just kidding. So our thing this year is consistency. We really want to be consistent with what we're offering and what we're doing. I think we're doing a great job of that. I'm just excited for the second half of the year, man. I can't believe the Knicks won the finals. That was not on the bingo card. And what else? We got the World Cup Championship coming up on Sunday.
And the Open's going on right now.
And the Open is going on. So a lot of good sports stuff going on. And your boy's going to the circus on Saturday. No, I'm not part of it.
I'm glad you figured out those tickets.
I didn't. I paid twice as much for tickets because I bought the wrong date. But yeah, is there anything else you want to go over?
Nah, I think that's a wrap, man.
Well, for this is another take, another conversation, take whatever, and follow, smash that subscribe button.
Oh, yeah. Right there.
Right there. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Slamma jamma.
Peace.